welcome to the Phil Steele Plus tour for the conference championship weekend. And I do have a selection for you. I was wondering if we were going to have one this week, but we do have one for you. The selections in the NFL, even though I don't follow the NFL all that close, I have to admit I did have watched the championship or watched the playoff games last week. But the NFL playoffs now 5-1. So let's make it 6-1 for the NFL. And I'll have your play for you in just a minute. A little bit of house cleaning, let you know what we're working on. If you're following along on Phil Steele Plus, we have been putting up blogs every day. And what I'm currently working on right now are the all-conference teams. Almost done with it. I'm going to put up a blog every day, show you who is coming back in each conference. Like here, this is interesting. In the Sun Belt, every single one of the offensive first-team players in the Sun Belt is gone, whether transfer portal or graduated or off to the NFL. But all 12, actually. I use 12 on my teams because it put 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. But all 12 are gone. That's interesting. So check out these blogs each and every day. And today's blog is about the all-conference page. Now, if you go to your magazine, I believe it's page 28. From last year. Yeah, page 28. It'll be page 28 this year, most likely, as well, is the all-conference thing. And this is the worksheet I have for it. I'm going to come over here and finish up the all-American things and then add them all up. But as you can tell, the all-conference points returning. Check out today's blog to see what all-conference points returning means. That's up there right now. But I should finish this up today. I finished finalizing the power plays last week. There's always something to do. And we are just about done with the first right-through process, getting ready for the second right-through process, which starts at the beginning of March. And then the third right-through process is after I talk to the coaches. So that's what we're currently on now. A lot of all-conference stuff up there. And I think it's fascinating to find out the teams that have, like here, you've got Tulane has got 4 first-team all-conference players back. That's the most there. This chart will be page 28 in your magazine, but you can actually follow along each time and do them yourself if you want. And by the way, if you do find anybody that we have marked, the highlighted ones are back, the non-highlighted ones are gone. If you find any mistakes in there, just let us know. I don't think there will be any. There may be 1 or 2. And, of course, with the transfer portal, maybe somebody hit the portal after I did it. But contact Todd at philsteele.com. And he'll get it corrected. Or just tweet at me on my Twitter at PhilSteele042 for these. But I'm going to run this series of them for all the 10 conferences they'll be running. And today's is, once again, explaining the all-conference. All right, and one more thing before I get to your NFL play, and it'll be real quick, and it is the Super VIP deal. I want to remind you, you get 2 magazines. Naturally, you get one of them all dog-eared by the time the season rolls around. You'll get 2 magazines. You can even give one to a friend if you want. You get the digital version of the magazine, and you can upload that before the magazine's even printed. You get it 2 days after we upload the magazine to the printer. It usually takes about 8 days to print the magazine. So you could be looking at the magazine before it's even printed. Plus, you get the magazine as soon as it rolls off the press. We mail it to you. You get it 3 weeks before it hits the newsstands. And this year, in the Super VIP, I'm giving away Phil Steele Plus through the Super Bowl next year. A $99 value, absolutely free. If you sign up now and get this deal, you'll get the rest of this year's Phil Steele Plus all the way through the Super Bowl. 1 month, about $19 value. You also get 4 issues of Inside the Press Box. It's all just $69.95. And you get exclusive access to the digital version for at least 2 full weeks. Even if somebody buys the digital version, they don't have access to it. VIP members do. So make sure you check out that deal. Just go to Phil Steele Plus. Click on the store right here. And when you click on the store, it's got it right there. Here's your Super VIP. Here's your regular VIP, which is just $39. I recommend the Super, but the VIP gets you most of the same things. Doesn't get you Phil Steele Plus for the year. Doesn't get you the second magazine, but it's a tremendous deal if you're looking for something a little more cost-conscious. Once again, you get exclusive video or exclusive thing to the digital magazine, and you, of course, get the magazine before everybody else does. But, okay, let's get to our NFL game. So once again, we'll go here to the Phil Steele Plus menu, and we will click on NFL information. We'll go to the team pages, and we will call up the Detroit Lions on the left. The Lions delivered for us last week against Tampa Bay, making the record 5-1 for these NFL plays. So let's see who we're going to use this week. And naturally, what we'll do here, we'll go back to the Phil Steele Plus menu and take a look, as we have been, at our NFL ratings. And what we find when we go here to the yards per game, San Francisco is number one in the NFL, plus 88.9 yards per game versus their opponent averages. Meanwhile, Detroit is number 5. That's pretty good. That says San Francisco should be about a 7-point favorite. That they are. Go to the next one. And under NFL information, strength of wins, pain of losses. Once again, San Francisco is right at the top. You get credit for every win of an opponent you beat, and you get credit for every loss of an opponent you lose to. And by using that metric, San Francisco an outstanding 93 and 28, 76%. Detroit's pretty close. So once again, San Francisco should be favored, but about 7. So where's our line value? Well, the line value, I did a little research, actually. I know it's NFL. I don't usually work on the NFL, but I remember I used to run a sports service probably 8-10 years ago, and we had a thing where teams off a loss in the playoffs, off a spread loss in the playoffs, but advanced to the next round, generally covered the next week. So I went back and took a look at the last 5 years, and here's what I discovered. Now, first of all, Detroit fell into that category last week. Remember, they only beat the Rams by 1. They were a 3-point favorites, so they did not cover. The red teams here are teams that did not cover but advanced to the next round. So Detroit did not cover. They advanced and covered against Tampa Bay. Now, I note Buffalo and Cincinnati here. They played each other. So one of the teams was going to win. One of them was going to lose. We're going to throw that one out. But Kansas City did not cover against Jacksonville. They only won by 7. And then the next week, they covered against Cincinnati, minus 1.5. They won 23-20. So that's 2-0 for this. There were no teams that won and did not cover in 2021. But in 2020, there were 2 teams that won and did not cover. Buffalo was minus 6.5, only won by 3. Tampa Bay was minus 8.5 and only won by 8. Neither team covered. The next week, Buffalo covered, winning by 14 as a 2.5-point favorite. Tampa Bay was actually a dog and covered against New Orleans, winning outright 30-20. So if you take teams that aren't playing each other, that lost in the playoffs against the spread but advanced, you're a perfect 4-0 the last 4 years, 4-0 the last 5 years. And I remember, like I said, 8-10 years ago when I actually followed this stuff closely, running a sports service, then there was a great system, and it was play on a team off a spread loss in the playoffs. The other thing I want to point out is there's a reason that teams get home field advantage and how valuable it is. Look at the conference championship home teams, 1-0. 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. These are all against the spread. The Rams upset San Francisco there. 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2 the last 4 years. And it goes back even further. If you go back to the last 7 years, it's 10-4 against the spread. So just blindly betting the home teams, you're in a good situation. 10-4, 71%. Taking a team off a spread loss is a good situation. So we're going to go with the line value here. I think Frisco would have been a bigger favorite had they blown out their opponent last week, the Green Bay Packers. They did not. They only won by 3. I didn't think San Francisco played a good game. I look for them to play a good game this week. Meanwhile, Detroit's just played 2 massive home games where the crowd was into it. Now they've got to travel all the way across the country, coming off 2 very emotional home efforts. And that's the reason that those conference championship home teams are 10-4 against the spread the last 7 years. Well, there's your play for this week. Let's hope we move to 6-1. I should have a Super Bowl version for you. Worst case scenario, maybe I'll have a couple of props for you, or maybe I'll have something on the Super Bowl. Depends what we see in the next 2 weeks. I'd like to thank you for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour with me this week. We are hard at work at the magazine. We are basically 2 months into the magazine right now, 4.5 months to go. And I'm already worried about hitting the deadline. So it's a ton of work poured into this magazine each and every year. Thanks for taking the tour with me this week, and good luck to you this weekend.